I'm Mariam Nusrat. I'm the founder and CEO of Breshna.io, a no-code game maker platform, and it is my absolute pleasure to introduce our esteemed guest of honor today. She is a trailblazer in her own right, a leader who has worked tirelessly to make DC a hub for innovation and opportunity. Mayor Bowser's commitment to innovation and startups has been instrumental in positioning DC as a rising star in the technology and entrepreneurship landscape. Her passion for fostering entrepreneurship and innovation has paved the way for countless startups to thrive in this city. Her administration has supported not just initiatives that focus on launching and growing a business, but also prioritize sustainable development and economic equity. As we gather here at DC Startup Week, we not only celebrate the spirit of entrepreneurship, but also the remarkable leadership that has made it all possible. Mayor Bowser, thank you for your unwavering support and commitment to the startup community. We eagerly anticipate hearing your insights and vision for the future innovation in our city. With that, please join me in welcoming the Mayor of the District of Columbia, Muriel Bowser.
Well, good morning, everybody. I want to thank Miriam for that wonderful introduction, and I am so happy to see so many of you here. I'm joined by members of my team who are also excited to work with you. Some of them are new members, and I'm going to say a little bit about that in a moment. But let me first recognize Rachel Koretsky. Where's Rachel? Give her a big round of applause. Seema Alexander, who are the co-chairs of DC Startup Week. I also want to recognize Brett Schulman, co-founder and CEO of Kava. Thank you, Brett. A DC company. Brett was named the 2023 CEO of the Year by the Washington Business Journal. And that is what can happen to and with a DC startup. I mentioned that I'm excited to announce some new members of my senior team who are in many ways directed to how DC does business with small and local business, how DC supports an ecosystem that lets you start your business and tells the government to get out of the way so you can work with your customers, but also make sure that we have the infrastructure that we need as a city to attract customers, to support our residents, and to make sure that we're protecting the city as a whole. So with that, I am very excited to name the next deputy mayor for the Office of Planning and Economic Development, who we refer to as DemPed, who is responsible for making sure we have an outstanding economy in the city, for making sure we have the revenue that we need to invest in all the programs and services that we know and love, and also is responsible for leading our affordable housing production. We are proud to steal from the federal government Nina Albert. Congratulations, Nina. Please step forward. Nina has a more than 20-year long history in economic development projects, including with the DC government, formerly working at DemPed, at WMATA, and most recently the Commissioner for Public Buildings from the GSA. Welcome, Nina. I am also excited to announce that Keith Anderson will be the Deputy Mayor for Operations and Infrastructure. Please join me, Keith. Keith has more than 20 years' experience in D.C. government, and he's returning to provide leadership to the cluster where he started, at the Department of Energy and the Environment. So his experience with environmental sustainability, his leadership both over the Department of General Services and Parks and Recreation makes him the perfect match to lead operations and infrastructure. Congratulations, Keith. I am also excited to announce that our current director of HSEMA, that's the district's emergency management agency, is being duly appointed to the role of assistant city administrator and the acting chief of the Office of Technology, the chief technology officer for the district, Dr. Chris Rodriguez. Thank you, Chris. I hired Chris when, some years ago now, shortly after I became mayor, as the director of the district's Homeland Security Department. Chris came to us from New Jersey, where he led state efforts for Homeland Security. He has a background in intelligence. He was at the CIA, and part of his responsibility for the district is to make sure that our cyber security is top-notch. So we're looking forward to Chris's leadership in supporting the city administrator and also leading OCTO. Congratulations, Chris. I want to introduce to you as well our interim director of the Department of Small and Local Business, Rosemary Suggs Evans. And our interim director for HSEMA, Clint Osborne. Thank you, Chris. And so we're counting on these leaders, and we want to thank them for stepping up in interim roles and let them, I want you to know that there will be a seamless transition because they are ready for the job. Thank you so much. I think I've announced everybody. And now I want to acknowledge that we've also been joined by Councilmember at-large Kenyon McDuffie, who leads the Council's Committee on Economic Development. Our host director in the wonderful team here at DC Public Libraries, Richard Reyes Gavlin. Thank you, Rich and team, for being here. So now to the business at hand, and we are excited about our team, but we're also excited about you and what DC Startup Week represents: innovation and entrepreneurship. I frequently say that the government can certainly do a lot on its own, but we do so much more with the creativity and talent of our residents. So Startup Week is a celebration of business and ideas, and it's also an opportunity for me to hear from you how the government can better support you. And so one thing that we have learned over the last several years is that we can be a critical bridge in emergencies, but we also learn how much creativity that we have among our entrepreneurs. Imagine closing down a city or closing down your restaurant, closing down your office, and figuring out how you're going to make payroll, how you're going to pivot to a streetery, how you're going to have hybrid work. But that's what all of you did over the last several years. And some of the ideas that came from it will make your businesses and make our city all the better. So we are grateful for you, and we're here to support you. And one way that we do it is by continuing to propose and fund grants, making the process to get to those grants as easy as possible, and then awarding those grants to deserving businesses. Your job then is to make sure you do it right, hire a lot of people, and grow. Can you do that? Will you do that? And you will hear in some of our grant proposals other priorities that we have. Part of our priorities is the comeback of the downtown, but I see it happening. I already feel it. People are coming back. Metro is having some of its highest ridership days, not just since the pandemic, but in its history. So that's good news. Amtrak is back. Our tourists are back. We're still working on our office workers, but even they're back more than they were in the spring. We're also very focused, you'll hear us, on how we get more activity in some of our neighborhoods that haven't had as much economic development. Our Food Access Fund, for example, has been incredible in partnering with businesses to open food establishments in Ward 7 and Ward 8. So you're going to continue to hear us talk about that and have a focus. I want to thank Melissa Bradley, the founder of 1863, who is our inclusive, the fund manager for our inclusive grant program. I also want to recognize the inaugural class of awardees, which included 15 enterprises across sectors, including financial services, the arts and education, food and beverage, hair care, and more. And today, I am happy to announce the second round of awardees. There are 10. That's the drum roll. Technology Innovation Labs. Behind me. Okay. Number 2, The Village. Number 3, Bow Visions. Number 4, Mind Your Studios. Number 5, Aged Diagnostics. Number 6, Black Leaf Vodka. Number 7, Eventita. Number 8, Clear. Number 9, Manifest. And 10, Oh Amazing Foods. So those are our current grantees, and today, you know what today is? When we open our third round of applications. So please go to obviously.dc.gov to learn more. You'll also hear more from Sabangale Cook, who's the leader of our business development organization at DMPED. Thank you, Sabangale. Sabangale and Melissa will be having a fireside chat at 1:30 where you can also learn more. And during Startup Week, you're going to see a lot of mayors in town from around the world because DC is hosting City Lab. It's a global convening of mayors. Our host location will be the Waldorf, and we will open the new Johns Hopkins University with Mayor Mike Bloomberg. So learn a lot. Invest a lot in DC, and I'll see you across all 8 wards. Thank you, everybody.